You're listening to
the Beer O'Clock.
The Beer O'Clock Show.
You're listening to the Beer O'Clock Show.
It's Beer O'Clock, and this is the Beer O'Clock Show, where every week we drink beer from around the world and then try and talk about it. My name's Mark, and joining me with his kilt and equity partner code at the ready is this show's own little brewdog, Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Very good. It's the end of our Six Nations season, and for the finale, we head north of the border to Ellen in Scotland to Brewdog for this week's feature beer, Abstrakt AB18, an 11.8% imperial brown ale. Now, this was a surprise because we were hoping to do hashtag.
We were, yeah.
Which tends to be a little bit easier.
Well, no, this year's mash tag was going to come out at 10.5% anyway, mate. So,
well, the first one was nice and easy.
It was very easy, but that was the first year they did it. That was before the craft wankers got their hands on it and started making ridiculous ABV beers. Yeah, we were supposed to be doing this year's mash tag, which will be an American black barley wine. However, the guys from Brewdog, by all accounts, there's been a delay in the brewing process with mash tag, so they were unable to get that to us. So fantastically, they managed to get across to us a bottle of AB18. As you say, it's the Imperial Brown Ale, and I'd just like to actually personally thank Johnny from Brewdog for sorting this out for us, because he's been in touch with us throughout this season, just keeping us updated. And I know he listens. I know he's a regular listener to the show as well.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. Thanks for sorting us out the beer. We're really looking forward to getting into this one tonight.
Yeah, Johnny really went out of his way to make sure this got to us on time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Which was really good of him. They could have just said, sorry lads, find yourself another Scottish beer, but Brewdog stuck to their word and got us what looks like a really, really interesting beer. And we'll talk about exactly what this beer is in a little bit. But let's get it open, because this is, like you're telling me before we started recording this morning or yesterday, this is a bit of a sipper.
I don't think this is a beer that we're going to want to fight our way through. I think we're going to want to drink this one slowly. So
it's got the wire topper like a bottle of wine.
And a cork. Which I'm hoping I can remove with my hands. Yep, here it comes. So rather than do the show as we normally do it and do all the little bits and then the review, we're going to open the beer. We're going to enjoy the beer as we go through the evening, and we're going to throw all the other segments in. It is the end of season after all, and we do like to have a bit of a party with these end of season shows. I'll keep talking while you struggle to open the bottle. It's fine.
There we go.
There it is.
Pop.
Oh, the aroma is...
Wow.
Just...
Holy dooly.
Oh, there's coffee, there's chocolate, there's fruit.
This is
everything pouring out of that.
This is going to reset my palate big time.
I think so, yeah. For those who remember us talking, was it last week or the week before, about your collapsing palate?
Yeah. So give it a pour.
I think so. I have to say, I've got the most preposterous snifter glass tonight to drink this out of as well. It's got to be one of the biggest brandy glasses I have in the house.
Wow, it's bubbly and all. That is very well carbonated.
That ridiculous glass there. The ridiculous bulbousness of that glass.
I've got my Teku glass. That's because it's the only fancy glass I've got.
Oh, my word. Now it's in the glass.
That's not smelling half as boozy as I was afraid it would smell.
Oh, see, no, I'm not sure, mate. I'm actually getting a lot more booze off of it now it's in the glass.
I'm getting a little bit of mix of booze with licorice, chocolate, treacle, stewed dark fruits, all sorts. But anyway,
there's loads going on in there. Should we just get into this? Have a little sip of it, and
let's
then
have a sip,
and then
let's do that. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Well, that's incredibly smooth. There's almost no alcohol burn to that. The flavours are all in complete contrast to the aroma. All of the flavours seem completely dialed down and just so subtle.
Yeah, I'm getting some woodiness. I'm getting a lovely smokiness. just drifting over the top of that. Lovely brown flavours, folks.
Brilliant. Brown. What colour does this beer taste, mate?
Brown.
Brown.
Obviously.
Excellent. So maybe a hint of dark chocolate and coffee in there for me. Just hints of it. Some fruit flavours licking around the edges.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just so well. It's so soft. It's so balanced. It's I think that I'm gonna look forward actually to letting that sit and just warm a little as we go through this evening.
Yep.
And just revisit it and see how those flavours are changing, because I think they're going to get more intense the more that warms and the longer it's been out of the bottle.
Indeed. So let's get on with the main body of the show, mate, while we let that sit there. And we're going to have a little bit of a sip all the way through, and people can listen to our gradual decline towards the end as we finish the bottle.
What's our gradual decline?
My, rather.
Your
it was the royal me. Right, I normally ask at this point of time how your beery week was, and I have to say mutually, we went to 2 beery events, and a smashing great time had all round, I think.
I would concur.
Tell the boys and girls what happened.
Okay, so without giving too much away, because you'll hear the results of it, last week we had a evening with, or a Beer O'Clock Show live event at Hop Burns and Black, which is a bottle shop that you've heard me mention before in Peckham in southeast London. They hosted us for the evening. We had some friends down. We shared the beer that we brewed at You Brew with those friends, and we drank a couple of other beers as well. Now, I'm being purposely cagey here because you will hear the results of our live Beer O'Clock Show podcast towards the end of the summer. Because it's one of the 3 summer specials that we're putting out. So you're going to have to keep your ears open for that one, I'm afraid. But it was a great evening. We were thoroughly well hosted by Jen and Glenn down at Hot Burns and Black. And we're really grateful to them. But we're hoping that you enjoy the results of it as much as we enjoyed producing it.
Indeed. It was a great night when we had some friends down to support us. Some people that we didn't know as well. Great beers. Nothing else more to say until you listen to the show over the summer. Just a big thanks to Glenn, especially for helping with the technical setup and getting everything organised as far as gear goes, just so we could actually record it. Great night. We also had another little event on the weekend, which we've been a bit more vocal about.
We did, yes. As people will know, we hit the south coast of England this past weekend for the Brighton Crawl. We had a pretty amazing group of people come out of us around Brighton. I think there was around 25 people that joined us. 25 people, yeah. For the crawl. We went round some of the best bars that Brighton has to offer. There were some highlights in some of those bars. Look, just have a look on our Twitter feed, have a look on Instagram. There are pictures all over the place, but it was just a great day. Really, people have heard me use the phrase before, beer folk are good folk. And again, that was just the epitome of Saturday, was that everybody just got on well. People were chatting about the beers. People were talking to people they'd never met before as we wandered around Brighton. Big thank you, a lot of thank yous actually for the Brighton Crawl. Firstly to Maria, who helped organise the day for us. Thank you so much for sorting out all the bars on the route and everything, and for being the perfect local host. Thanks also to Dark Star Brewery for sorting us out with commemorative T-shirts for the day, sorting us out with bacon rolls at the beginning of the day, and also sending along their head brewer, who ended up doing half of the crawl with us himself, I think, to chat to us about the beer. And thanks most of all to all the pubs that allowed a group of 25 beer heads to take them over throughout the day. It was a great day. Keep your eyes out for news about our Crimbo Crawl. We'll be teasing that over the summer. It's going to be on Saturday, the 18th of December. There might be a little something on the Friday night as well, if anybody's around. That's as much as I'm going to say right now. But keep your eyes out over the summer, because that's going to be our next beery jaunt around a city somewhere somewhere in the UK.
What was your highlight from the crawl, mate, beer-wise?
I would say that it would have had to have been the Brighton Beer Dispensary South Coast IPA,
Okay.
which was an absolute stunner. Which I think we had in bar two, the Brighton Beer Dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really enjoyed that. There were a lot of good beers consumed throughout the day, and I have to hold my hand up and admit that there's a certain point at which I have no recollection of what I drank. That's a testament to how good a day that it was.
Yeah, I had my highlight was actually one of the first ones that I had, which was the Brew by Numbers. I think it was strawberry and mango wit.
Oh, the strong, yeah, that was a good beer as well.
That was stunning, and it really started the day off. I had two of those, as it happens. And another fun highlight was doing the light and dark in the Brighton Brew Dispensary. They have this challenge where they serve you a light beer and they serve you a dark beer, and you have to guess what the beers are in the brewery. I got pretty close with the dark one. I actually picked the brewer, which I thought was quite clever. Light one, no idea. We still don't know what it was.
No, we still don't know. No, tell people what the dark one was, though, mate. Don't leave them hanging in suspense.
It was Black Pearl by Weird Beard.
Yes.
So I picked the brewery.
Coffee stout.
It smelt beardy. So, yeah, but like you said, I'm a pretty introverted fella, but I love these crawls because I get to meet people that I know online or get to meet brand new people, and everyone's just really friendly and chatty. Fuck Brighton and those hills, though. Bloody hell. I was shat. I mean, I left. I didn't go to the last pub because I was knackered by this point. Because I'm a big fella. The hills aren't kind. And then I had to walk up the hill to go to the station. It's like, come on. Who puts their train station on a hill? Seriously. But no, great day. Big thanks to Maria, like you said, and big thanks to Darkstar because together they made one of the best beer crawl that we've done, beer o'clock show crawl that we've done. That was such
I think so, mate. Without a doubt, that's the best one we've done yet.
Yeah.
We've had some good days out on the others, but that one, I think it was just the combination of the weather, the people, the pubs, the environment, the beers, the banter. Everything just came together just so well. And yeah, as you say, just to echo once again, just massive thanks to all the people that were involved in making the day such a great success.
Yeah. And just you wait till Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this is, like we said earlier, we are getting into this AB18 from Brewdog, 11.8%. I'm making my way slowly.
Any more thoughts on the beer? I'm getting some more fruit flavours on the aroma now.
Are you?
The darker flavours seem to be sitting back a little bit. There seems to be a little bit more fruit coming through.
Yeah, I'm getting like a well-branded Christmas pudding.
Yes, bang on. It's like a rich fruitcake, isn't it? It's
fruitcake rather than Christmas pudding.
Yeah,
fruitcake has been really kind of sitting there and soaking in everything.
It's interesting because as we record this, we're just breaking into this heat wave in the UK that's coming, and I was a little bit apprehensive about doing an 11.8% imperial brown ale tonight. I would have much rather been doing an ice cold triple IPA to have absolutely quenched me, but this is working quite well at the moment. The sipping, getting a lots of the flavours, the heat in the air is helping to warm the beer, and I think those flavours are changing. And as I said at the outset, it's going to be an interesting experiment. Keep going back to it and seeing how the flavours are changing.
Indeedy. All right, mate. End of season.
I know it's always sad.
It's been a short one, but it's been a bloody good one though.
It has. I think we've pushed ourselves to kind of new boundaries this time. We've tried new beers. It's a shame it's been a short one. But people know that obviously the reasons for that. We have to take a holiday every now and again. But we've done some incredible beers this season, mate.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't feel like that short of a season. I think because every week we're drinking a stellar beer. It's not like we've got all these beers planned out with a few fillers that we have to fill gaps.
We
Give me that look.
We never had fillers. We're never fillers. Every season beer list is curated to be fantastic.
Yeah, of course it is. Oh, your face, Stevie.
All upset now.
Oh, but amazing. Let me go through the list of beers that we've done this season. Obviously, the whole thing is based on Six Nations, which we just wanted a really simple idea for a really simple season. There's going to be a short season. We needed a simple idea that would get us some interesting beers, but get us through, what is, again, a short season. So we needed beers from England, Ireland, Italy, Wales, France, and Scotland, being the 6 countries. We both just counted that out on our hands. We did a couple from England, and then went through the rest of the country. So we started off with Adnams Broadside, that classic beer that we for some reason, had never reviewed before. What did you think of the Broadside? I think it's one that you are okay with.
I really enjoyed Broadside. I think it's a good beer. It's a staple beer. If you're looking for kind of an introductory to that style, you can't go too far wrong with Broadside.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, just sipping.
Yeah, get your nose out of that AB18, mate.
And then representing England again, we went to Beavertown Skull King.
That was absolutely two sides of a coin. It was something that the beer was launched kind of the week before we were due to start the season. We were lucky enough to get hold of a couple of cans, and I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of do a England new versus old. So Adnams been around for a long time, big regional brewery, make very traditional beers, versus Beavertown, who are the new boys on the block, new beers, everything in cans, everything hopped to within an inch of its life. And that show just worked really well for me because the two beers were a complete contrast to one another.
Yeah, indeed. And then we went over to Ireland. We couldn't get enough of Ireland in our Irish series, so we had to have Ireland back. And we had Polar Vortex IPA from 8 Degrees, which was a smashing beer.
It was very enjoyable, and it was also one of our because we did ask our listeners this week to share with us their highlights of the season, and one of our Irish fans, a son of a Gurgen. He said that was a particular highlight for him because it was one of his favourite beers from one of his favourite breweries as well. He really enjoyed listening to that show.
Yeah. And for our Italian episode, we had, from a brewery we can't pronounce, Ritorto Birrificio Artigianali. Sorry, any Italians who are listening. Their beer, Krakatoa.
Yep, again another IPA. So 3 IPAs in a row to open the season. We're really grateful to Andy from Beers from Italy, who supplied us with a whole season's worth of beers a couple of seasons back. Gave us another beer to try from Italy, and again a really solid, really tasty IPA. Again, once again showcasing how the Italian craft brewers are taking a lot of influence from around Europe.
Yeah, indeed. The week after that, we went to Wales for Wayne's Pamplemousse. Now that was, one of my highlights from this season. It's just amazing.
Same here, mate. Up there as a highlight of the season, to the point where we then went back and basically ordered a box of the entire YN beers to give them a try. I've since managed to get my lips around the Lemon Drizzle, which is it's an even lower ABV pale ale, and it was just so enjoyable. It went in about 5 minutes, that one did. But yeah, a real great find, and with thanks again to another one of our regular listeners at Sparky Wright, who recommended that we drink the Pamplemousse from the YN Brewery.
Yeah, Sparky, you're a legend, mate. Great suggestion. 4.2%, easy as you like.
So yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Then we had our Beer Day Britain episode with the beer that I can't remember the name of.
Britannia's Brew.
Britannia's Brew. Yeah.
Yes.
It was a decent beer.
It was. I mean, it was. it was traditionally English in its not well traditionally British in its style. The malts coming through really heavily. The hops playing a bit of a background note. Other things thrown in there as well to represent all the home nations. It kind of we built the season around that beer and that day because it was all about celebrating everything that's great about Britain. There's only a limited edition run of those beers. There's probably still some available on Ours by Mail if you want to give it a go.
Indeedy. And to follow up Beer Day Britain, obviously we had to go to France the next week.
Clearly, it was the sensible way to go, mate.
Yeah, so we went to Brasserie d'Angelus. I still don't know how to pronounce that. Which was a 7% ABV. I can't even. It was just a blonde, wasn't it?
It was a strong blonde beer. Yeah, You know what, mate? I'm going to let you talk about this one because that beer was the first time since probably season 1 that you've been allowed to choose a beer for the beer list.
Yes, because I promised you I would get you a French beer for our list. So I picked out a French beer, and then you told me I paid for it, picked it up. Then you told me it was actually Belgian, because I got my flags wrong on the shelf. So then I picked this one out, and what a stunning beer! Lovely blonde beer, loads of flavors in there. I think I kind of said it's almost like an American pale a little bit in flavors, but really refreshing, lovely fruitiness in there. It was a gorgeous beer. That was another one of my highlights.
Yeah, with like you're saying, American Pale with maybe some nods to Europe, and again another one of our listeners at Plim Sean. That was one of his highlights of the season. It was a real find for him to try something new. And again, that's obviously what we try and do with some of these shows is to try and encourage people to try beers that maybe they've never seen or heard of before.
Indeedy, and just before I get to what the next episode was. All of these beers so far, you can buy them still. They're not highly limited edition, apart from the Beer Day Britain one. The other ones you can get at various online stores and stuff. So just have a hunt around, and you can get them direct from the brewer, or you can get them from some of the suppliers that are on our website.
Yeah, I think even Beavertown have done another run of Skull King since, because when we first got it, it was a fairly limited edition beer, but now it's fairly frequently available. So, as you say, yeah, all the discounts are on the website. The stores that we've got on there carry most of the beers that we've been drinking this season.
Yep. And the next episode, beers you won't find anywhere.
Mate.
The homebrew special. We had beers from Ollie from What's Brew, Rich Caller, and Hoptomaniac. Whose name?
Ben Vickers.
Because that's not on my thing. Yeah, I mean, amazing beers. Like you were banging on about, when we did the episode, they did a full reset for our homebrew. It's like they've raised the bar above our heads from what we've had before. It's just amazing.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, the bar absolutely raised on the homebrew shows. The beers that we did only last week, there was a solid English bitter from Ollie Watts. There was a salted pineapple wit from Ben Vickers, who you can find at Hoptomaniac. And then there was the one that kind of blew everyone away, which was the old ale that had been brewed in a way to replicate the fact that it had been aged in Merlot barrels. And then it had some Brett yeast thrown in it as well. Just simply stunning. And without wanting to put any of the other beers down that we've drunk this season, that was the absolute highlight of my season. Was the homebrew special this time round, because those beers were incredible.
And as soon as it was out, we were getting feedback on Twitter from people just... within the first couple of hours, people just bang on about how, they want to get back into homebrew now, which is one of the reasons we do these things. And others are just raving about these beers that we were highlighting on that episode.
Yeah, I've never known a homebrew show to have the reception that one had this time round, because as you say, normally when we release a new show there'll be some steady listens over the weekend. Most people might save it to Monday or Tuesday when they're commuting to work, but literally within an hour of this thing being released, my Twitter feed was alight with people just talking to us about the homebrew show. So again, if the guys are listening again this week, thank you so much for being part of that. You guys have really set the bar to a new height.
Indeedy. And we come to an end with this episode where we're doing the Abstrakt AB18 from Brewdog. Imperial Brown Ale, 11.8%. Aromas and tastes of boozy fruits, chocolate, licorice.
Absolute boozy fruits. I'm still thinking it's a real rich fruitcake. It's just as it warms, there are more flavors coming through, and I'm getting a lot more sweeter flavors. The more it warms, the sweeter it seems to be getting. The carbonation's died down a little bit as well, which I think is helping with the beer and the style. That's just making it this delectable thing in a glass.
Indeedy. Now we still have plenty of show to go.
We do.
Stevie, do you have any news, mate?
Yeah, it feels strange to be doing it this far into the show. But yes, there is, because it is the end of season special.
Wait. Here's your pips.
Well, okay.
Beep, 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 beep. Go ahead.
Okay, so because it's the end of season special, because we didn't do news last week, I have a bumper load of news for you this week. So hold on to your beery hats, because here it all comes. Okay, the British Guild of Beer Writers has launched their annual competition, which rewards people for their writing and their videoing and various types of blogging. Interesting that they mention on the website writers, broadcasters, bloggers, photographers and filmmakers. Clearly they still don't recognise podcasters as being a relevant type of media. So I'm not going to say any more about it. Queen have released a lager to celebrate the 40th birthday of Bohemian Rhapsody. There's a loose tie-in if ever I've heard one. The drink is brewed to mark the anniversary of the hit, and is said to be, and you are going to love this description, it's almost like you've written it, the beer is said to be golden and hoppy in taste. Isn't that just brilliant? It was brewed in the Czech Republic, and it's available from some places now. The Brentwood Brew Co. have released a special edition beer called Van Canor at 7.7% ABV. This was brewed as a result of the managing director of Brentwood Brew Co. asking the head brewer at the time to create the finest beer possible to celebrate the birth of his first grandchild. So what they've created is a beer that is produced using traditional champagning methods, triple fermented with beer, wine and champagne yeast, then hand riddled and turned. There's only 1,000 bottles of these available, and if you want one, it's going to cost you £29.99. They're available from brentwoodbrewing.co.uk if you've got money to spare. Indie Man are looking for volunteers. If you want to get involved, if you couldn't get a ticket for the event but you'd still like to be part of it, you can email them at volunteers@indiemanbeercon.co.uk, and you can offer your services for the weekend in Manchester. I'm going to do some local news now, because I do love doing a local beer festival. Okay, so on August the 21st, Seaton Town, wherever that is, it's in Devon, they're hosting a summer beer and cider festival from the 21st to the 23rd of August. More details are available on Facebook, or just search Google. And then finally, one that I banged on about last year as well, my local beer festival, one that's quite close to my heart because my son plays for the cricket club. The Whittam Hockey and Cricket Club Beer Festival will this year take place from Thursday the 27th of August to Saturday the 29th of August. They've got a brand new website, a brand new Twitter feed. You can search for that on Google as well, or I could put some of these in the show notes. It depends on how I'm feeling. And then finally, the last story with this bumper news edition is just we've spoke about it already tonight. Beer Day Britain was a massive success. Loads of people got involved in the national cheers at 12:15. Pictures all over the internet. So just to say congratulations to Jane for organising and to keep an eye out for it next year and to get involved in Beer Day Britain again next year. And so ends the news for season 7, mate.
Whew, that was a lot of news.
That was a lot of news. I need a drink now. Cheers again. Still tasting good.
Yep. Okay, looking back at season 7, mate, what were your top beers?
I think I'm going to have to put the homebrew beers to one side because they were just special. They were out there. People aren't going to be able to get hold of them to recreate what we got there. If people were going to have to go out there and buy 2 beers from the last season, I would recommend Pamplemousse by the Wayan Brewery, and I'd also recommend the La Angelus, the French beer that we did, because they were the 2 that for me really stood out above all the others.
Those were exactly my picks as well. Just fantastic. I mean, all the beers were great, but Pamplemousse, Angelus, great beers.
For me, the thing about the Pamplemousse as well is it's introduced me to a new brewery who I am excited about trying all of their beers as well, and it's been a long time since I've been that excited to come across a new brewery to give their beers a try, because all of the beers in their range just sound amazing. Yeah,
indeed. And like you said earlier, we just went the week after we did that review, let's buy a box. So we went halves in a box and we got their full range, and I haven't touched them yet. Mother-in-law's here on the weekend, so I'll be putting them in the fridge ready for that.
Well, like I said, I've done the lemon drizzle. That's fantastic, and we've also got the snowball in there, which is the chocolate, vanilla, and coconut stout. Which we're actually going to tuck that one away, and we're going to feature that one next season, because that's a beer that I actually want to review live on one of these shows, so people can share that experience with us.
Indeedy. So, how are you finding this Abstrakt 18, AB 18, shall I say?
Mate, I am absolutely loving it. It is a big beer. It's a massive beer.
I've got that much left.
Yeah, I've probably got about the same. It's at nearly 12%. It's warming fantastically. Probably a good time to talk a little bit about the beer now.
Yeah, let's actually tell people what it's all about.
Okay, so AB18, it's part of the Abstrakt series from Brewdog, which is kind of a range of limited edition beers that they do. You have to join a particular club to get these beers. You sign up for a year's membership and you get X number of beers throughout the years. They're fairly limited edition releases. The AB18, there was 12,100 bottles produced of it. Every one of them's individually numbered, and that's the same with all of their other beers as well.
What number have you got?
I've got 8,905.
Oh, I got 8,908.
Okay, well, at least fairly close then.
Yours is 3 newer.
Well, let's just assume it came out of the same barrel and it's the same beer. So it started off as an imperial brown ale. And then in typical Brewdog style, they absolutely hammered this beer with Scottish Tayberries. No point of reference there. If anybody knows what a Tayberry is, let us know. And purple raspberries. Again, why purple? I'm not sure. But anyway, all this fruit was thrown in the beer, and it was locked away in rum barrels where it sat for 2 years. So this beer has already been maturing in rum barrels for 2 years, and obviously all those flavours from the fruit and the barrels are mixing with the beer and starting to create something new. And then what they've done is they've taken an old-fashioned tradition, what they used to do in London back in the day, where they took their latest beers and beers that have been sat away for a while, and they've actually blended them together. So what they've done is they've taken a fresh batch of a specially brewed black ale, and they've infused it with the imperial brown to bring new life into it, to bring new flavours to it, thus creating AB18. Now, all of the Abstrakt range are kind of really out there beers. I've prior to this, I've only done one, which was the salted caramel popcorn beer, which I
Ooh.
think was AB 15. I've also got an AB 11 and an AB 16 sat on my shelf, which various people have given me in time, that are just sat there, and they're just kind of those beers that you need to have. It feels like you need to have an occasion to drink them because the way they're packaged with the wire top and the cork and everything. But like I say, if you do want to get hold of these beers, you do have to join the club, or if you invest enough in the Brewdog Equity for Punk scheme, you do get a year's membership for free. And just a reminder that if you are going to invest, you can use the referral code R311979 because that gives me extra benefits as well. But yeah, it's a really interesting beer. There's a lot going on in here, mate.
It is. I can't see where on the Abstrakt website where you can sign up. Have they closed membership or something?
They might have closed membership. Normally, the membership is in line with the Equity for Punks thing going out.
Right. Okay.
So it might be that membership is closed at the moment because the only way to join is via investing in Brewdog, and it might be that once they stop that current round of investment, or once they reach their target, then they'll open the membership up to the Abstrakt Club again. But occasionally what they'll do is they'll send them out to the members, and then whatever's left they'll put on the website, but they will go very quickly because they are very sought after beers.
Yeah. They've been doing this since April 2010.
Yep.
So like you were saying before, they do weigh out their beers, and just mousing over these and seeing the names of them, it's just, or seeing the descriptions rather. I want some of that salt caramel popcorn imperial ale. That sounds amazing.
It was pretty good, and I actually bought myself some salted caramel popcorn to have with it as well. So I paired it with the popcorn, and it was just to die for, I have to say.
The first one they did was a vanilla bean infused Belgian quad. That sounds gorgeous.
Yeah, just check out. Like I said, one of the ones I've got up on my shelf is the AB11, which I think is it's
black
got
barley
chili
wine
with chili in it as well. Is it?
Chipotle peppers, yeah.
Yeah.
Ginger and black raspberries. Good luck.
Yeah, I was given that last year by Chris Hall. People that listen to the show will remember I did the Dry January last year, and I raised a load of money for cancer research.
Mm-hmm.
He gave that to me at the end of the month as a well done, you did it. It's been sat on my shelf ever since. I just can't find an occasion to drink it. I will get to it one day, but yeah, these beers are fairly incredible. And again, just to reiterate what we said at the top of the show, thanks to Brewdog for sending this across to us to feature tonight. And I think it's a fitting beer to wrap up this season with, mate.
Yeah, so, let's start wrapping up. What are your final comments about this beer, mate? We've spoken about the dark fruits, we've spoken about the hint of coffee coming through and the hints of dark chocolate. What are you getting from it now?
I'm getting a bit more boozy now. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's feeling like there's something in there to me that's feeling a little bit like a red wine. Some of that sort of characteristics going on. That's possibly some of the dark fruits coming through in it. Some of the darker bitter flavors. It's very, very smooth. It's very easy to drink. This is a real pleasure to enjoy this. And I do think, actually, that there are some of these available on the Brewdog website still at the moment. I think there might be a small number of these bottles still available to buy. So if you want to give it a go, I would absolutely suggest getting involved in this beer.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're saying, still dark fruits, and I am getting a little boozy burn, just very slightly. You know, there's a sweetness creeping in there as well. It has, as it's warmed, I mean, we've been going for like almost an hour now, and this beer has really opened up, and it's changed in the time that we've been drinking, and as it's warmed up as well, which is always a great thing with a beer when it warms and you're getting different flavors coming through. So
absolutely, and I know the shows this season we've kept them fairly short, but this one I think actually deserved the time that we've given to it tonight, because this beer has got better as the show has gone on.
Indeed. Right, Instagram of the week, mate. Do you have one?
I do. It was a tough competition this week because there were a lot of amazing pictures. There were some great pictures posted from the Brighton Crawl at the weekend. As usual, there were some stunning entries from Son of a Gun. There were some stunning entries from Plimshawn. Mark, you even got involved as well.
Yeah, I
you
did.
entered your first ever prize, and as much as I wanted to give it to you,
It was a
I
great
just
photo.
couldn't. It was a great photo, but there was one that was even more self-indulgent than you entering our own competition. And it was one that was posted by a friend of the show. And we were chatting to him at the weekend, and we've actually worked out that he's had more guest appearances on this show than every other guest combined. Justin Mason at 1970s Boy, a picture that he took at Hot Burns and Black last week when we were recording the live special of the Hot Burns and Black glass with our beer in it, with us blurred in the background. That's up on our Instagram feed now. It's in the show note. Congratulations, Justin, for that show. A really self-indulgent Instagram of the week this week.
We are navel-gazing twats, aren't we?
We are, but come on. Hey, it's our this prize competition.
Exactly.
It's the big box of nothing that I have to try and fill every week.
Yep.
And this week I felt that was the image that really summed up our week for us.
And you fill that empty box, out of your own pocket.
Every week, mate. And I have to find the box as well to fill.
And I think you get to choose who gets it. Right. Don't forget, folks, that you can get beers from Ales by Mail, Beautiful Beers, Bottle and Bean, and eBria, who all now offer a 10% discount to Beer O'Clock Show listeners on any beers on their website. So check our website for the Buy Your Beers link that's in the top, and that's got all the discount codes that you need and the links to the websites where you can buy your beers. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. We'll only ever email you when there's a new episode coming out. So that includes mini-sodes, that includes the weekly show, that includes summer specials and all that kind of stuff. Just on the right-hand side of the website as you go in, we're not going to spam you. It's all secure through MailChimp, so you don't have to worry about privacy or anything like that. It's all good to go. And we have something special coming along with our summer specials, don't we, mate?
We've got lots going on over the summer, mate. It's going to be, as you listen to this particular show, it's going to be quite a while before you start getting a regular dose of the Beer O'Clock Show again. So we've got 3 summer specials coming in the summer. The first one of those will be our 3rd birthday show, which is always a fun to get involved with. So if you want to send us a message for that show, by all means send us a message. We might play around with doing something on Periscope at the same time, so you might be able to get involved live, but we'll see. But that'll be our next show. That's in a few weeks. 24th of July, that'll be with you. We've then got the 2 summer specials that talk about the beer that we brewed, so we'll be doing some stuff with you brewed, some stuff with Hot Burns and Black. As those shows come out, you might notice some things changing as well, because we are going to be changing our brand. So we're 3 years old now, and we feel we've outgrown the sunburst logo that we've been rocking for the last 3 years, and we've got something new coming. So we're going to start teasing that over the summer. You might start seeing it in some places. We've had a new logo designed by literally guy that we came across on Twitter. So big shout out to Paul Young at Mr. Artiste. You can also find Paul's work at morethanart.co.uk. He's designed our new logo for us. It's a little bit different from what we've got at the moment. As I say, you might have seen little bits of it already, but do keep your eye out for that, because from the 1st of September, that's the brand that we're going to be rocking across all of our platforms.
Indeed, and can I just say a big thanks to my old mate Alistair Miller from Purple Panda Media, who did our original design, original logo. He did it off the back of, off his own back. So if you're in Scotland, especially Inverness, and you're looking for a graphic designer or a web designer or anything like that, hit up purplepandamedia.com. Alistair's a great bloke, really easy to work with. Yeah.
Cheers, Alistair. We've enjoyed the logo over the last 3 years. We just felt it was time for a change.
Indeed. Right, I think this is about it, mate.
Well, almost. Just to say, if all of that wasn't enough, just to keep you going over the summer as well, there's going to be a few more revisited shows that we're going to throw out. A couple more of those. There's going to be the final lock-in.
Final.
We've decided we're only doing one more of them. Keep an eye out for that on Saturday the 29th of August. All the details are up on the website. That's being supported again by Brewdog, who are giving us jackhammer in cans to drink on that evening. So for those of you that tuned into the last lock-in and thought it was carnage, you ain't seen nothing yet. And also make sure that while we're off air, you continue to support those other great beery podcasts that are out there, and they're all linked through on our website as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, you can find our website at beeroclockshow.co.uk. We're on Twitter at beeroclockshow. We're on Instagram at beeroclockshow. We're on Untapped at beershowsteve. I'm on Untapped at beershowmark, and I'm on Twitter at beershowmark. Right, Stevie, until the summer specials and until next season, buddy.
It's been the highlight of my week. I'm feeling a little bit emotional right now. I don't know what's going on. Here. I think it's because it's going to be so long until we're back doing it regular. But I just want to say thank you to the people that listen to the show as well. Thanks to everybody that listens to the show, everybody that gets involved in the chatter that we have on Twitter, and everybody that gets involved in the crazy things that we do sometimes. Thank you so much, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. It's an absolute pleasure doing this week in, week out.
Indeed, and a big thank you to you, Steve, for, as always, putting together a smashing season, doing the hard work. I just do the editing and all that shit. And
mate, don't put yourself down. That's just as hard work as doing.
You're the best beer buddy a bloke could ask for.
Oh,
and it's not
I love
just
you too, mate.
It's not the AB18 talking. Maybe a little bit.
Shall we go before we actually start crying now?
All right. I love you, Steve.
I love you, Mark.
Until next time. Bye-bye.